Are we recording? Song.
It's so funny.
Here it goes,
You guys, come on, we're ready to do these. Ready?
Yeah?
Alright. Today's speech, I'm going to teach you how to eliminate debt and accumulate some wealth. We all know that you can't have wealth if you have debt. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take some of the principles that were taught in David Ramsey's Total Money Makeover and Susie Ortman's 5-step financial action plan. And we're going to see if we can incorporate those into our lives to help us get debt-free once and for all. Okay? Both of these principles preach that before you start paying off your debt, what you need to do is you need to create an emergency fund. Now this emergency fund is going to be there for some whatever, in case something happens. We all know that when times get tough, something always happens. We call it Murphy's Law. You know, well, this is going to be Murphy repellent. Okay, when you have money, when you're prepared for an emergency, you don't need the stuff that you prepared for the emergency. You know, it's when you're not expecting things to happen, they always do. When you're ready for them, they never do. Okay, so before you can start your emergency fund, what you need to do is assess where you're at. Dave Ramsey says that if you make $20,000 or less a year, what you need to do is put aside $500 for an emergency fund. You do that before you pay off any of your debt. Take the $500 and you put it away and you don't touch it ever for anything unless it's an emergency. An emergency would be you break your leg and you don't have insurance. Your car engine blows up, the transmission goes out. Those are legitimate emergencies. An emergency is not, I need to go on vacation. It's not, I need a new wardrobe. It's not, you know, new DVD, stereo, whatever. That stuff you save for, now come later in his guide to becoming wealthy. Right now, if it's 20 grand or less, it's 500 bucks. If you make more than $20,000, you need to put $1,000 on the side. Now, both of these emergency funds are going to be built up higher. But this is how we start. This is before we pay off the first bill. This is the money that we put on the side. You got to have $1,000 because as soon as you start paying off these bills, Murphy's Law is going to come through there. You're going to have to take your money that you were using to pay off the bills and pay for the new transmission, and then the whole thing start out the window. So now that we've established the emergency fund, remember we're going to build on this emergency fund later, but now that we have the $1,000 to $500, whatever you have, now it's time to do what they call the debt snowball effect. Okay, and what you need to do is you need to take all of your bills, every debt that you have, okay, and you want to list it from the smallest debt to the biggest debt. Okay, and what you're going to do is you're going to pay the minimums. If you have, for example, if you have credit cards, okay, and you have a couple that are 500, a couple thousand, a couple that are 5,000, okay, what you're going to do is you're going to list the $500 ones first, and you're going to pay the minimum on all your other credit cards. Okay, you're going to take the smallest credit card that you have, and you're going to pay it off first. You're going to take every extra dollar that you have, and you're going to pay towards this credit card. Okay, all the rest of your credit cards, all the rest of your bills are going to be paid the minimums. Okay. Once you pay off that first credit card, you're now going to take the payment that you were making on that credit card and you're going to add it to the minimum that you're paying on the next credit card on the list. So do you see what we've done? We've kind of taken, if you were making a $25 minimum payment and you were paying $75 a month on the small credit card, you now have $75 plus the $25 minimum payment. You're now paying $100 every time you pay for that second credit card. And you're going to do that until you pay that credit card off. Now we're going to take that $100 and we're going to put it to the next credit card. And that next credit card you're paying the $50 minimum, so now you're paying $150 on that credit card. And this is how you get a snowball effect. You see how it goes? You're going to eliminate the small one, and by the time you get to your largest debts, say you got a car payment, you owe $10,000 on your car. By the time you get to your car payment, okay, you're going to be putting down about an extra $1,000, $1,200, $1,500 instead of the $250 to $300 car payment. You're going to be paying off $1,000, and you're going to get that car paid off. If you follow these principles, you should be able to get debt-free. The average is 18 to 24 months. So when you break that down, that's a year and a half to 2 years. In a year and a half, 2 years, you owe $0 on everything except for your home, if you own your home. That's going to be the only thing we're not trying to get paid off in the 2 years. All right? That's a lot of money, isn't it? So now that you've got the debt snowball going, once you've eliminated all of your debt, you've gone through the steps and you've put the emergency fund aside, you paid off everything you own on bills except for your home, now you're going to have all the income. And if you're making $25,000 a year, bringing in probably about $2,000 a month, the only bills you now have are your heating bills, your electric bills, right? And how much can those possibly be? I mean, you're bringing in probably now about an extra $1,000 a month that's not going to creditors. Instead of paying the creditors, you're now paying yourself. And so now what you're going to do is you're going to take that money, all that extra money that you have, and you're going to build that emergency fund even bigger. Okay? Because now that you're debt free, you got the $1,000 in case something happens, you know something major is going to happen. So what we're going to do is we want to build that emergency fund to whatever you think is satisfactory. We want to do a minimum of $10,000. Because what we're looking for is, once we've become debt free and you've got $10,000 cash sitting in an account somewhere that you can get to if you need to in an emergency, and all you owe is your home, what kind of feeling are we going to have? Pretty good feeling, right? And so once we've accomplished those things, then we're going to start concentrating on investing. We're going to invest in long-term IRA accounts and some mutual funds, but we'll get into that another time. Today, what I want you guys to take away from this speech is that you can be debt-free in 1.5 to 2 years by following Dave Ramsey and Susie Ortman's principles on managing your finances. If you get your emergency fund saved up, get a debt snowball rolling, pay off all your debt, all your creditors, get your emergency fund set up, you're on your way to creating substantial wealth. Thank you.
Okay.